Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in two tanks that are pretty much the same but have some key differences. So this is the WZ-111-5A versus the WZ-111-QL or the Qilin. Now these two tanks are fantastic tanks. Like this 5A is definitely worth grinding to. So what's the heavy tank line for the Chinese like in general? Well, you've got obviously you've got to start off with the Type T-34. The Type T-34 it's just a worse version of the Russian T-34, which means that it's only got 5 degrees of gun depression, unlike the Russian one, which is 7 or 8, something like that. And there's just a couple of other things that I know there's a couple of other things that are worse about it, which is annoying generally. Then you've got the Type 58, which, following on from the worst version of the Russian T-34, is a worse version of the T-34-85. And yeah, it's not very good. Best way of putting it, it's got poor pen, not great mobility, it's just not a very good tank. So you're thinking, oh, do I have to play? Yes, you do, unfortunately. But then if you play the Type 58, you get to the IS-2, which is the Chinese version of the IS. Now, to me, that is a better version of the IS, and that is purely because of the penetration it gets, and that's because it gets, 250 heat pen, which means that you're not struggling against tier 9s like you can be with the IS. The only problem is it's heat, so sometimes you just get shots that get absorbed, because why not? Then you've got the 110, which is kind of a knockoff IS-3, but it's kind of different because it doesn't have a 122, it has a stock 122, which is the one you get on the IS-2, but that's not great. You get 100mm with pretty decent DPM, and it's quite a nice gun generally. As a tank, it's okay. I wouldn't say it's brilliant, but it just sits there and there. It's alright. It's a thing that's there, kind of tier 8 heavy tank. The tier 9, the WZ-111-14, is a good tank. It's a very good tank. It's just a harder hitting version of the T10, but without the thing is, but then it doesn't have the magic Russian spaced armor, and that is one thing. But it's very much worth playing. It's quite a fun tank. And then you've got the choice of unlocking this, the 5A, and the 113. The 113 is good in its own right, but it does struggle. It probably needs a little bit of love to keep up with everything that's out there nowadays. But it's okay. It's good in its own right. It's more like a medium tank than a heavy tank, the 113. And then you've got the 5A. Now this 5A is fantastic. 490 alpha, great DPM, good gun handling for a 130mm gun, and decent mobility as well as the armour. Like, the turret is amazing. Like, the turret, if you get hull down with 7 degrees of gun depression, things aren't going to pen you. It's great. So what's been happening in this game on Ghost Town? Well, we've just thrown away a load of hit points like an idiot, and we're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep driving around. We should be playing a little bit better here and trying to use our armour a little bit more effectively, but we're not. We should have been trying to side scrape these guys, which is, here we go, we're finally doing it after we've already lost like 800 hit points. And we're just going to bully these tier 9 Centurions as much as I can. My team is crumbling hard and fast, unfortunately for me. There is a light tank coming in behind me, and I have realised it. It's like, okay, no, could you not? Put a nice shot into him auto-aimed. Unfortunately, he gets to pen move. He's out of here, so we're turning back for these Centurions in front of me. We're going to finish off this one in front of us. Hopefully, we take a hit from behind again. I think it's that light tank that's come back for more. And we just get out of his line of sight, and we push this guy to try and help our... what is it? Is it enough? No, it's a Conqueror. Trying to help our Conqueror out here and shut down this Centurion. And in doing so, we've also got out the line of fire of the guy that was in the middle. So we are going to push back into them now. We've got a dead driver, which also makes our traversing this map even more annoying, because it means if anything goes wrong and we push into a position, we're not going to get out of it very quickly. We're not going to out-traverse anything. Yeah. So we know where all these guys are, and we're thinking, okay, well, I want to get to where these guys are. I want to start putting my gun to use in helping what is left over this side of the map. So we're heading out this way now to try and get some shots into the heavies. T-54E1 comes along. We get a nice shot free aimed into him, set him on fire, give him a little ram to keep him tracked in place. If I'm face hugging him like this, T-53E1 is not going to pen me, and we shut him down. Then the SU-130PM comes along. We've only got heat left and HE, so it's like, okay, the SU-130PM's here, we're going to load some HE and charge him down, and hopefully get one of those juicy 700 rolls. Then the light tank appears. It's like, okay, hello light tank, bye light tank. We're still loading the HE. Oh no, we're loading the heat again, sorry. The SU-130PM slaps a shot into us, unfortunately, and we bounce a shot on the E5. And he shuts us down because you don't need to aim. But that's the end of the game, and it was a nice game in the 5A. It was a very quick brawl, and unfortunately the team just couldn't hold out against them, and we managed a high caliber, first class, top gun, sniper, 7k damage, 1000 assistance. And it's a good show of what this tank can do in a brawling situation. It can really put the hurt in. I mean, we had 22 shots fired, 22 hits, which is a very good ratio for... I mean, it is a good gun for a 130mm, but at the same time, it's still not the most accurate gun in the universe, so hitting all 22 is very nice. But I mean, it was a brawling area, so it was most unlikely we weren't going to miss anyway. And we just got unlucky with some of the shots, like on the E5, that if it had gone lower into his lower plate, it would have penned it, but unfortunately the heat round went high into his upper plate and bounced. So here we are, the QL, and for all intents and purposes, it's pretty much the same as a 5A, but the gun is different. That's pretty much I think some of the soft stats are slightly different. I've gone over it in my QL review, which I might see if I can link that in the video somewhere. The main big difference is the gun, and that gun flash. This gun has the same stats as the 5A, pretty much, but you get 560 alpha. 560! You slap people so hard. It's great. Like, unfortunately we missed that one. I was about to say, well, look how hard we hit that guy, but we didn't hit him, so can't say that. But yeah, it's got 560 alpha. And obviously it gets a slower reload than the 5A. But the thing is, the reload may be slower, but in the long run, with 560 alpha, the DPM is exactly the same. And it might be like 20 worse or something like that, which is absolutely no difference at all. And that means that generally this tank is better than the 5A. And you might be thinking, well, the other one fires quicker, so why is this one better? Well, because it has the same DPM, and if you've got the same DPM as something, right, it's always better to have higher alpha, or in my opinion at least, anyway. It's always better to have the higher alpha, especially if it's pretty much the same as it is the 5A. 675, there we go. Ouch. That's how good this alpha is. 560 leads to so many so many rolls that can be high. It's amazing. Yeah, it's better to have the higher alpha anyway, because there's a lot of times that having the quicker reload doesn't help, right? So being able to pop that one shot in for higher alpha than the lower damage shot is better, because it means that those one-time opportunity shots mean a hell of a lot more. And that's what's so nice about this tank. And it's kind of crazy that it's exactly the same as the 5A, but has this gun. I don't know how that didn't pen the Valor. That should have penned, but it didn't. Oh well. We're going to try and get another shot in him on this ridge line, though. And it flies in 622. It's absolutely beautiful. I really love the alpha on this gun. It's just so good. It's so nice. So what have we been doing anyway in this game? Well, we've been taking up this position that I love to come to in tanks with decent gun depression and good mobility. And that's because look at the range of shots you have from this position. Right, I can use this rock in front of me to save me from different things if I like manoeuvre into different places. I've got shots at everybody on the left hand side of the map. I've got shots on everybody on the right hand side of the map. So I can just keep my gun moving and keep getting shots everywhere to my heart's content. And also in this position, I can also spot up people like where that 140 is. If I've got good enough view range, I can spot the one line. So I can get assistance damage as well. Like, see, we've already got 1300 assistance. So, it's a great position. And also, light tanks love to do those little runs. You've seen the T-54 lightweight buzzing about, and every time he's come along, we've tried to pop a shot into him, because obviously it's annoying, it is spotting my team. And I'll always say it, Prokhorovka, generally, teams with the better light tanks tend to win. Or tanks with the better spotting capacity anyway. But as you're seeing, we're just popping shots in left, right and centre, and we've got a nice shot into that Chimera as well, 483. Some of the rolls were delightful, and then some of them have been terrible. But we're still slapping people. Like, obviously, that 483 roll on the Chimera was a low roll. It was a low roll of pretty epic proportions, to be honest. And if we were in a 5A, that'd have been like a mediocre low. Well, not even a mediocre. That'd have been like a nearly same normal roll. So to say that that is a real low roll in this tank is just mental, really. So we're going for a shot into this Valor. We were trying to track and pen, but unfortunately the shot went far to the left. But we're getting tracking on him. We're getting people shooting him. I am being a bit wary because I know there is a Death Star back there. But we are taking chances and sitting on top of this ridge line. The SU-130PM over there looks like he's in a good place for me to shoot at him. So we're just going to aim at it and hopefully get this reload in and shoot. T-95E6 pops in. But we managed to shoot the SU-130PM anyway. Now, I had my suspicions that Death Star was back there. So I was being a bit careful going over. And then he fired Hesh at me and didn't do much damage. So now we are definitely playing more careful because we definitely know where he is. Oh, 587. Like I said, it doesn't get old how hard you slap people in this tank. It's lovely. It's a very, very, very nice tank to play. It's definitely, I'd say it's definitely the tank you want to try and get. Especially if you like heavies. It's the tank you want to try and get for the free XP tanks. So now we know that Death Star's there, right? But it's the time to move in. We're at 7.5k already, and there's 5 tanks left with some decent amounts of hit points left. So it's like, okay, the time is now. We're going to move in on this back corner and try and get some damage in. It was a risky thing to do, to come down that ridgeline, because our game could have ended in a split second to that Death Star. But it was the play that we wanted to make, otherwise we wouldn't be here ahead of our team to get shots. Now, unfortunately, we auto-aim that shot, and I'll always say, don't be lazy, aim your shots, don't be me. We could have actually had another shot of damage there, but we got the tracking anyway on him, so that's the one thing. We get a kill shot onto that waffle for like 200 odd, and we're reloading this shell in to try and get a shot into either the 30B or the Death Star. The 30B gets shut down, so we pop a shot into the Death Star. The reason I aimed at the Death Star there is because I thought the 30 might die before I managed to get that reload in, and he died just as it reloaded, and I didn't want to waste that shell and that chance of damage, so I just aimed at the Death Star, which had more health. So we ended up finishing that game anyway with a high caliber ace tanker, Confederate sniper, 8.3k damage and 2.9k assistance. So that's over 10k combined, and it's a really nice game with the QL, 1900 base. And this tank is ridiculously good, and it's definitely the tank you want to pick up for 450,000 free XP. I think I'd probably say it's either this or the M60 for me, personally. Because the M60 is also a fantastic tank. Out of the lot you can get for free XP, these are the two you might want. So as always, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you on the next one.